And the Emir of Kajuru, Adamu Kajuru, and several persons described as members of his family have been kidnapped by bandits in Kaduna State. Initial assessment by the Kaduna State Police suggests that the suspected bandits in the early hours of Sunday kidnapped the Emir and from his town. Kajuru is 30 minutes drive from Kaduna. And our Rice correspondent Nissi Gabriel has the details.
The chair of the Emir of Kajuru is empty. He is nowhere to be found. Armed bandits kidnapped him and 13 members of his family. People are gathered around his residence, and the emirate is in shock.
Including His Royal Highness, there are 14, among which the least in age is a 1 year old. All the rest are 15, 18, 20 something to above. Yes, this is how they happen. All in total is 14 in number that are kidnapped and are still, because they have rung the palace through the telephone set that they took from His Highness, so they were able to communicate with the palace and confirm to us that those that were abducted, including His Royal Highness, are intact and in good health. Though it has been communicated to the authorities about the purported signal, danger signal, inherent, but that notwithstanding, there wasn't any presence of security to beef up security of His Highness. So how the thing happened. Most of us were deep in sleep. Some that were able to be awake were awoken by echoes of bullets flying all over.
Members representing Kajuru constituency are calling on the federal government to rejig the nation's security apparatus to curb the incessant attack by armed bandits.
The government need to sit up because it's one kidnap too many. This kidnapping has been a recurring decimal. It's a daily affairs today in this constituency. As elected people, I wonder what I will tell my people. For me, we need to rejig the security apparatus of this nation.
Shortage of security personnel still bounce back to government because the governments are the ones that employ and provide security personnel. They are in charge of that. That is the same calling we are making on government.
Kajuru Emirate is in grief. Many have described the kidnapped emir as a good man, too old to be held in captivity by armed bandits. His eldest son pleads for his release.
We are just sit stranded. We have nothing to do. We are just begging people or government to help us because he has nothing to do. We have nothing that we can compensate to assist him, let him come back.
The Kaduna Police Command says it has launched a manhunt to rescue the emir and others unhurt. It is hoped that the second-class emir and others will be released soon. Nissi Gabriel, Arise News, Kaduna.
Okay, Nissi Gabriel isn't going anywhere very soon. Let's bring him in now, our correspondent who is in Kaduna. Nissi, good evening and welcome to News Night. I'm sure by the time you put that report together, it was at the break of the kidnap. Are you getting any latest information either from the State Police Command, the government or other security agencies about the state of this kidnapped? Have the kidnappers reached out to the families or anybody? Nissi?
Good to talk to you, Christian. Thanks for having me on Newsnight. Well, yes, the Kaduna State Police Command initially told us that the emir and 10 persons were kidnapped. But later during the day, I had to summon courage to head down to Kajuru local government area myself. It's an hour drive from Kaduna town down to Kajuru area. And just like you heard, the spokesperson of Kajuru Emirate Council confirmed to us that the Emir and 13 other persons were kidnapped, making a total number of 14. And he also said to us that the bandits had made contact with the Kajuru Emirate Council to tell them that indeed they are with 14 persons, including the Emir, and they are all safe and in good health, and that they will communicate with them much later. So before leaving Kajuru local government's area, the Emirates are waiting to hear from the bandits. Christian.
Wow. Nissi, I mean, I know how incredible it is what you're doing, and when you say you summon courage to go there, we must say well done, Nissi, and keep safe. However, I mean, with this, again, kidnap, it kind of affirms what a lot of people are saying, that this banditry that we are seeing is now a full, criminal enterprise, if you like. What are you hearing, particularly from the people as you are on ground, Nissi?
Yeah, Amaka, just like you rightly said, it's now an industry on its own. The kidnapping industry is thriving, and until the federal government makes this industry unenviable, unviable, this will continue, this will go on. Well, for what I'm hearing and for what the people on ground are saying, they are frightened, they are tired, because this is one too many. It's hard for you to sleep 24 hours, waking up without hearing issues of kidnapping here in Kaduna State, banditry attack here in Kaduna State. So for the people, they are fed up, they are tired, they just want this to come to an end, and they're also calling on the government to beef up security in their various communities.
See, a yeoman's job you're doing there. I mean, at this time of the night, in the middle of the road, we don't even know where the bandits could come from, since it's now very incessant. But the question is, the bandits were said to have been over 200 that stormed Kajuru, kidnapping the Emir and 13 others. And the security forces, they don't encounter them? Do they just come from the bush and back to the bush? They don't use the roads in their hundreds motorcycles, which they ride? It is curious.
Yes, Christian, it is indeed curious, and for some will say it is indeed a mystery, but I tell you, it's a reality on ground. That's what is happening here in Kaduna State. In fact, this brings us to the shortage of security personnel, which we have been asking and we have been questioning the state governments here in Kaduna State. And also, if you recall, a few days ago, the Inspector General of Police was here in Kaduna State to encourage personnel to revisit the commands. And one of the issues that was raised up is the issue of shortage of security personnel. Just like you rightly said, over 200 armed bandits stormed Kajuru local government area. This whole emirate was under siege. I tell you, it was under siege, and they were shooting sporadically, because when the locals were narrating the incident to me, it was scary. And one also told me that the security outpost close to one of the secretariat there was under siege as well. So you can imagine when over 200 persons armed to the teeth storm a community just to kidnap the emir and others. In fact, one said that it's just by God's grace that not over 200 persons were shot dead or were killed in that place. So back to the point I was making earlier, there's indeed a shortage of security personnel here in Kaduna Police Command. There's a shortage in patrol vehicles. There's a shortage in everything, including equipment for them to tackle these bandits. It's my sense that security agencies need to take the war to the bandits. They need to go in there. They need to go to the bushes to fight these bandits head on. Because I want to assume that indeed the security agencies should have coordinate maps of the bandits' camp. They should know where these bandits are, and they should take the fight to the bandits.
Nissi, like you said, how can one possibly fight these bandits if security personnel are overwhelmed? But again, Nissi, what are you hearing from other places, particularly Sabon Tesha? What do you know more?
Yeah, Sabon Tesha was attacked on Thursday, yes, and these bandits went to residential areas. In fact, it's shocking that these bandits go with tools. If you don't open the door for them, it's like they go with diggers, I would say, because they'll break through fence. They break through fence. If you don't open the door for them, they'll break through your fence. They break through buildings just to gain access. It's just similar to what they did in Bethel Baptist High School. You could recall that they gained entry to the school through the fence. They broke a part of the fence to gain access into the school. So that's what is happening, and that's what happened in Sabo and Tasha. They broke fences, they broke buildings, and they were able to kidnap about 13 residents, including tenants and landlords in that place. So it's shocking, and it's scary, I must say. Christian.
Okay, Nissi, very quickly, the frightening state and picture or picturesque that you've painted, the bandits are now moving into the city, and it's been said, not alleged now, that these bandits are not only known, they come in their hundreds, even into Kaduna metropolis, to shop and passing military formations. These are facts stated even by very senior military officers who are serving. Have you really witnessed this, heard this, being said in the public sphere?
Of course, it's no longer a secret, Christian. It's everywhere. It's open in the public domain, because here in Kaduna, people sleep with one eye open. Of course, people will also hear rumors of what had happened in the Kajuru local government area. So it's no longer news here in Kaduna State that these criminals, these bandits, move in their numbers. They move in huge numbers, armed to the teeth. And what they do most of the times is that before they attack a particular community, they actually send a message that we'll be visiting you shortly, and they will eventually come to wherever they say they will. So it's no longer news. It's not a secret here in Kaduna State. These criminals, I would like to call them, these bandits, they move in their numbers. They move in some kind of formation before they attack wherever they want to attack. So that's why it boils down to the issue of security personnel. We need more security personnel in these vulnerable spots, because right now in Kaduna State, most schools have been closed, as you are aware. So if schools are closed, they move now to residential areas, they move to other soft targets, and if they are coming, they come in their hundreds.
Nissi Gabriel, Arise correspondent, thank you so very much for the good work you're doing, and do keep safe out there as well.